Something has changed in Classic over the past few weeks, where once these verdant zones were filled to the brim with players, each venturing out into Azeroth on their own Classic journey. Now, they are almost entirely silent, leaving behind only cryptic clues as to their reasons why. Some of these players have unfortunately quit the game entirely, but many are returning to retail, enticed by the new content that the 8.3 patch that launched on the 14th of January has to offer. With so many objectives to fill, raid bosses that may have been skipped, transmog sets that need completing, or the apparent reported enthusiasm for Volparen conventions. We caught up with a few players making this return and asked them for their opinions. Well, you know, I've played pretty intensely for the past few months. Got to level 60, done all of the raids, got well geared. I was even excited for Alterac Valley, but since they nerfed it to the 1.12 version, it's just not as fun as I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go play retail for the new content. I might as well, since it's included in the same subscription.
Well, I was enjoying Classic. There I was, leveling up, and these orcs showed up and they kept on murdering me and sitting on my face. They sat there for 3 days. Half of my faction had already quit, so I couldn't even get a group together. I just couldn't take it anymore.
So yeah, me and my buddies killed this gnome and sat in his face for a few days. It was hilarious. But then he never came back, so we got comment. Get her off there!
So, there you have it. Will Classic have to be patched to restore a semblance of balance? Will Blizzard reevaluate its interpretation of no changes to enforce different patches for certain content? As with all things, we can only wait and see. However, if you have quit World of Warcraft, make sure you stay tuned for our next program, Where's My Wife? Coming up after
Enough.
messages.
Excellent. Those fools once again have no idea.
What do you mean, sir?
Use your brain, Perkins. This is exactly what we wanted to achieve.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm afraid I don't follow.
Did you really think we wouldn't know the effects of the decisions we put into Classic? It was a brilliant plan. First, we underestimate the amount of servers that would actually be required for Classic's popularity, forcing huge queues. Of course, the players complain about this, so we up the limits, repeatedly. Next, we remove layering and dump all of these players into the same world, just like we promised, with no changes. Which means 1 whole month of world PvP, 1 whole month with no battlegrounds available on vastly overpopulated servers. The carnage was sublime. Irritation grew so high that of course people would leave the game, even Alterac Valley. The shining memory in so many players' heads turned into a 6-minute gangfest instead of the hour-long massive battles they had craved for years.
But why, sir? Why did you want this to happen?
Did you really think we would allow our genre-redefining game to become entirely abandoned in its modern format just because it's not as good anymore? No. If we've learned one thing, it's that with WoW players, there's always something wrong. Always something that should be changed. Always something we implemented incorrectly. But now, we control that conversation. The initial high of new content doesn't last long, and the frustrations simply start kicking in. It used to be our greatest threat, but now we have an alternative. We simply release new patches at complementary dates so that when the frustration kicks in, you can always just go to the other game and enjoy the fresh new content. It's genius, really. WoW players always return, even if they've unsubscribed to see if the new patch has rescued the game. But now they'll never leave, and with every future expansion, we shall add it as an entirely new client. Soon there will be 3 games you can swap between, then 4, never being good enough to retain someone's full attention, but never allowing them to entirely end their subscription either. And so it shall be for their whole lives, and then their children's lives, and their children's children's lives. Absolute player retention without innovative content. The dream, it's ours, all ours. Now, Perkins,
Yes, sir?
send me the team responsible for the upcoming patches. We have some editing to do.